We have game four of the East African Giants here, and this is quite interesting as the games continue on. Harold is 3-0 by 3 games, so the East African FM, the Africa's bronze medalist, is really trailing behind by 3 games. After a 3-0 defeat, this time we see Harold fighting back with the Sicilian opening. So the Sicilian opening went on pretty fine and fast. Like the first game, Harold is still playing with black, and Arthur is having the white pieces. This was an interesting game because Arthur just needs one game to have to just win the match out of 8 rounds. Please remember that this is 20 plus 15 minutes as the time control. 20 minutes with a 15 seconds increment. So the game continues on with black having his knight on f6, and everything comes out pretty fine. And black seals the center at this point, trying to reinforce and taking no more chances, trying to play pretty hard and fast against the IM. So we see things going on pretty fast here. This time Harold changes his system with a knight on a3. An interesting line at this point. Everything is pretty standard. These games have been played. This is nothing new at this point. We see interesting moves coming in here. These are quite rare moves. Knight coming back to c2. Of course, we know that Harold wants to just jump in around this system, but we see Arthur in white trying to jump around with this system. Harold in black retreating back with his bishop. Everything is pretty well set, and we see the game continuing on. Of course, we see black refusing this knight to come into this position, and black continues to stretch out further into the center. Everything is pretty fine, and black continues on to have his pieces well set. So Harold in black has to be careful this time. We really thought that white would have taken this pawn. It would have been a better strike at this point, but black chose to take that. This time we can see black having some better chances, and this was pretty interesting. So this was a very bad move for white. Black surely has an advantage at this point. We see white taking back with the rook. At this point, black would really have taken up with the queen on c7, holding the position and everything pretty fine at this point. But black chose to go with that queen move, which kind of puts him in a fair position, but I think it's not the best move at this point. So white chooses to strike the knight, and everything continues pretty on fast, and the game continues on with this strike. At this point, black is really holding on, and white's trying to get into the attack, but everything is pretty fine. So at this point, this is the point when black surely would have gotten a serious advantage if black had to take this queen. But we see Harold in black choosing to not to take the queen, but chose to first take the pawn. Please remember that this is a rapid game, so this is not very accurate. Maybe on a better thought, Harold would have played better. So the game continued on. It was a very beautiful line which was missed at this point. If black had really taken the queen and white would have taken back, things would have been pretty fine, and Harold would have gotten probably his first win. But black didn't take the queen, so everything was pretty not well managed at this point. So this gets on pretty fine, but the game continues on with these strikes. Some inaccuracies were being made, but we see black fighting on fast, attacking the rook, and everything continues on pretty well. So the game continued on pretty fast with some sacrifices at this point. Black is really fighting hard to maintain the position. This is supposed to be a draw. Things seem pretty fine and equal at this point. So this game continued on with some strikes, and this went into an ending at this point, which ended up into a rook ending. So rook endgames are always drawn, as the common saying goes. So this ended up to be a rook ending, which turned out to be a draw. So the players agreed with their first draw, and Howard got the first half point.